you joining us on the stream. Thanks to the friends at Live Race Services for providing these great images as they were pressed into service to make this stream possible on youtube.com/SpeedTourTV. As the field making its way around behind the safety car for our first SVRA race of the afternoon. And this is for groups 1, 3, and 4. Group 1 normally would be our small bore class, but we've combined it with Group 3 as well as I think we have a single Group 4 car in the field. The vast majority of these cars up at the front are all Formula Firsts, which is basically a second-generation Formula Vee utilizing the more contemporary 1.6-liter Boxer 4 air-cooled engine from Volkswagen. Uses a dry sump lubrication system. It has disc brakes rather than drum brakes, rack and pinion steering rather than the recirculating ball steering on the Volkswagen. Remember that a Formula V is basically a bug with a racing body on it. And it's been around. It's the longest continuously running race class in the country. Formula Vees were at the very first SCCA runoffs and have still generate a big field of cars each year at the runoffs. And so Formula First was an opportunity to try to modernize those cars just a little bit. We've got a huge starting grid. Let me introduce them to you. Starting 15th is the number 35 of Daniel Persson in a Formula V. The of David McMasters. In row 16, car 76 is Steve Theobald. The 0 next to him is Donald O'Keefe Jr. In row 15, car 112, Hunter Barron, next to the 84 of Barry Schwartzlos. In row 14, car 98 is Jason White. Car 49 is Stephen Hild. Row 13, the 18 of Pierce Crone, and the 32B of Elliot O. Barron. His father, Elliot J. Barron, starts outside of row 12 in the 23 car. The 92 is Eric Kopic. Then we go to row 11, the 32 of Bill Weiskopf, and the 57 of Richard Weiskopf. Now we move forward into row number 10. Car number 8 is David Boffman. The 71 is Lowell Houston. In row 9, car 24, Bill Trefford, and the 52 of Adam Ackley. Row 8, the 44 of Alan Good, and the 77 of Alan Schomer. Row 7, the 19 of Jeff Rapp, and the 23A of Michael Levesque. Row 6, car number 7, John Nash, the highest placed tin top in the field. Then the 57 of Sam Farmiga. In row 5, car 7A is Jamie Monahan. Car 4J is Justin Westerfield. In row 4, the 96 of Preston Taylor and the 11 of Doug Ostelhoff. Row 3, the 37 of James Monahan and the 47 of Robert Clark. Row 2, the 32A of Matthew Syme and the 16 of George Podgorski. And on the front row, car number 2 is Sean Westerfield and the pole sitter, car number 5, Doug Syme. Out of breath, but I made it. We got through them all. This is our biggest field of race cars. We've got 35. Oh, and I forgot. There's a second page. Craig Klinger is in the number 74 in the 42nd starting position. Number 10 is Laura Romney next to Edward Jones in the 17. Mark LaBelle in the 459. John Todd in the 57A. The 141 of Donald Rassingham and the 111 of Michael Leto. As the first wave, which are the Formula First cars, been released, and they are making their way through turn number 1. Doug Syme and Sean Westerfield doing battle. Now for the second wave, which includes the Group 3 cars. John Nash in that silver Lotus Super 7 will be the one to watch, and right behind him, Michael Levesque in that red Chevy Corvair. Just behind him is the only Miata in the field, Alan Schomer in the number 77. And finally, the third wave of Formula Vees gets the green flag. So this is a 3-wave start. As you can see, the Yenko Stinger, that white Corvair with the blue stripes, obviously had a problem on the pace lap, and he is quickly trying to catch up with the field. He's already in front of the Formula Vees, but he's going to have to hustle to catch up to the back of the Group 3 field just in front of him. Turning our attention back to the front, Doug Syme and Sean Westerfield with George Podgorski. Matthew Syme in the yellow car, I think, is up into second spot. We'll sort them as they come across the stripe here, down into turn 12 for the first time. These Formula Firsts are basically Formula V chassis with some upgrades to the suspension, the brakes. The engine is a big point, but basically a lot of these cars started their life as a Formula V and then were upgraded or evolved into a Formula First. try to extend the life of this class. As the yellow car falling off the pace, as we may have a problem already, as he tries to slot into about 5th position. It is Sean Westerfield at the point. Doug Syme in 2nd, George Podgorski in 3rd, Justin Westerfield in the 4th spot. Robert Clark, Matthew Syme, Jamie Monahan, Sam Farmiga, and Doug Ostelhoff, your top 10. As here comes the leader of the Group 3 field, and no surprise, it is John Nash in that Lotus Super 7. He is most likely the fastest car in the field, and he'll do his best to overhaul the cars in front of him. But there's another Lotus right behind him. That's Adam Ackley in the number 52. Alan Schomer in the Miata is in 3rd spot in the 77. Bill Treffert in the only Group 4 car. That is a Chevrolet Corvette. That's a C1 Corvette for Treffert. 1960 Chevy Corvette. It was late in the C1 era because it's got the quad headlights. As the Formula V lead is also under contention. As the first V across the line is Elliott O'Barron in that silver Pegasus. That's a one-off that Elliott is driving. And Elliott J. Barron, his son, is in the 23, the silver and yellow Pegasus. Excuse me, Elliott O is the son. The 32B is the red zinc. Elliott J. is the father in that silver Pegasus. Hunter Barron, his other son, in the 112, is back about a handful of places. But you get a look at Nash, John Nash, in that beautiful Lotus Super 7. His qualifying time was a 1:47.3, and only a couple of the Formula First cars, the ones at the front, Doug Syme and Sean Westerfield, as quick. And look at those two coming across the line side by side. 5 1/1000ths of a second separates first from second after just 2 laps. Sean Westerfield and Doug Syme setting the fast lap of the race in the early going here. Still side by side. Westerfield in the white car, Syme in the blue and pink machine. Oh, and we've got a spinner. One of the Formula Vees looks to have gone around there at turn 1. Covering that with a waving yellow flag for the upcoming drivers. As the rest of the Formula V field. There he goes. He got it back underway. That's a good sign. I believe that's the number 10, if I read it correctly. That's Laura Romney in the Auto Dynamics Mark IV. One of Ray Caldwell's designs. Laura's doing a good job of making sure she's got a safe place to re-enter the track. Here's the Yenko Stinger of Michael Levesque, the white 23A. There's a good Formula V battle brewing. Elliott J. Barron out in front just a bit. Elliott O. just behind. Here's Lowell Houston in the number 71, Datsun 510. Lowell works for us at the Formula Regional Americas Tech Shed as one of our technical supervisors, and gets an opportunity when we run along with SVRA to dig out his old 510 and do a little racing with that as well. As the battle to the line comes in once again, 44 thousandths of a second separates Doug Syme and Sean Westerfield. Syme in the blue and pink Mysterian out in front by a nose, but the fastest car on track is Robert Clark, who's third in the number 47 yellow Adams Acer. Battles going on all up and down the race course. And of course, these Formula V's and Formula Firsts, they can slice and dice and run wheel to wheel and nose to tail, as they have no aerodynamic wash to contend with. These cars don't lose their grip when they run closely behind. Look at that, tucking right on the gearbox as they work their way. It's the 112, I believe, just behind. I might have misidentified that, as they work their way up onto the banking and then back down through turn number 12. So again, all of these classes running for honors within their own class, especially with these split starts. It's not so much about the overall. The cars in the lead wave, you would expect, would finish well in the overall, but they're really battling for other drivers in cars in the same class, and there are, of course, multiple classes in each of these. The Formula Firsts are all one class, so those 11 cars are all vying for the honors. But in the Group 3, there's 3 C production, D production, the INDY Miatas. There's a B sedan, that's Lowell Houston. Then there's a single Group 4 car. Then the Group 1 LeGrand Sports Racer of David Boffman. There's the 1 C sedan of Bill Weisskopf. There's the Formula Vees then with Eric Kopic starting from the pole and the 2 Barons right behind him. And once again, the 3 C production number 7 of John Nash has caught most of the Formula First field. He's gradually working his way through it. That's the 56 of Sam Farmiga that he's just now gotten by, so he's picking his way through the Formula First runners. Deeper in the pack, a good Formula V battle, the 49 car at the head of that. Stephen Hild in the RCA Formula V. RCA stands for Race Car Associates. Barry Schwartzlos right behind him in the 84 Autodynamics. And here comes the Yenko Stinger. Don Yenko was a Chevrolet dealer and wanted to enter his tricked out Corvair into a racing series that required, I believe it was Trans Am back in the day, the under 2-liter Trans Am class, that required that a certain number of cars be homologated in order to classify it as a race car. And Chevrolet didn't want anything to do with it because this was in the era of Ralph Nader and Safe at Indy Speed, blah, blah, blah. So Yenko said, well, okay, I will unbadge these as Corvairs and I will rebadge them as Yenko Stingers. And his crew did a lot of work to get that car to be a bit racier, and he built 10 of them, or whatever the minimum number was, to meet the homologation requirements. And a legend was born. Just about 12 and a half minutes remain in this one, as we watch that battle with the 49 of Stephen Hild. That is 20th overall. Hild is currently running 5th in Formula V. Here's Krohn right behind him. Hunter Barron in the yellow Formula V, the 112, just behind him. Oh, and the Miata goes wide, just as the Yenko Stinger was catching up with the 77 of Alan Schomer. He felt the pressure and went a little bit wide at the exit of turn 7, but he's kept it together. So Michael Levesque in the 23A continues to work his way forward. He and Jeff Rapp are in the same class, but Rapp had a problem on the first lap in his red Corvair and did not continue. So Levesque all by himself, but he's just trying to overcome whatever problems he had on the opening lap and get as far forward as he can. Great battle coming down the front straightaway here with a Triumph TR4 just behind him. That's Alan Good in the number 44 Triumph. Alan's running in 18th position, and just in front of him are the leaders in Formula V. Elliot O'Barron in the red Zinc, Elliot J in that silver Pegasus, and Eric Kopic in the white Lynx. We head back to the front of the Group 3 wave. It's the 52 of Adam Ackley. He's running 2nd in the Formula 3 wave, or the Group 3 wave, with that Lotus Super 7. Alan Schomer in the Miata is just ahead of him. Michael Levesque in the Corvette, the Yenko Stinger, is up to 11th overall, just in front of him. And John Nash in that Super 7, running 9th overall, is the leader in the cars with fenders. Oh, we got a slow-moving, I believe that's the Corvette. It is. It's the Group 4 Corvette, the oldest car in the field, the 1960 Corvette. Oh, and he spins it. Treffert goes around. Got on the pedal, loud pedal, a little bit too soon. He's got to be careful not to spin it again in the grass. It's going to cost him a few positions, but as the only Group 4 car in the field, he's guaranteed a ribbon if he can get it to the end. Now we go back to John Nash as he's got a group of hungry Formula Firsts right behind him. Nash in 9th overall. I believe that's Sam Farmiga just behind him. Thinking about giving chase. They go 3 wide just behind John Nash. Sam Farmiga in the 56. Michael Levesque in the Corvair. Here's the 5 running slowly. That's Doug Syme. He was among the leaders. Syme in the Formula First number 5 fading here with a problem. As we go back to the sharp edge of the field, the George Podgorski, I believe, in the blue car, Justin Westerfield in the white one, I believe, as they work their way. Here comes Michael Levesque in the Yenko, continuing to pick his way as far forward as he can get. Just about 8 minutes remaining as the field continues to work its way around this racetrack. A big field of cars kind of spreading themselves out. Just a little puff of smoke from that number 76 of Steve Theobald in his Lynx Formula Vee. Theobald's back in 24th position, but running in the top 10 of the Vees. Once again, we zoom in on Stephen Hild in that RCA Formula Vee. Hild running in 20th right now. Just behind him is Pierce Crone in the Zinc. Actually, that's the intramural battle between the Barons, I believe. That's Elliott J in the Pegasus and Elliott O in the red Zinc. And they go side by side in the run down toward turn 7. And that is the battle for the lead in Formula V. '57A of John Todd and his Lynx. Back just a bit. Doug Syme continues to fade as he has worked his way backwards, unfortunately, with that car not giving him what he needs. White flag being shown as we're into the final laps of this one. Justin Westerfield at the front. with Robert Clark in the Adams Acer. Just about 5 seconds out in front of Westerfield. George Podgorski just behind him. Matthew Syme in the yellow Evolution. James Monahan in the blue Evolution in 5th. And John Nash in that Lotus up to 6th overall. There's Nash working his way through some more of the Formula First cars. And a car going wide off the grass there. I think that might be Elliott J. Barron. That looks like the Pegasus. It's very low slung in the front and the yellow suspension. It is. So Elliott J. Barron, the father of Elliott O. and Hunter, giving a wave to the cars going by him. So I think he's got a little grass or dirt on those tires. He's a good sportsman, so he waves the cars around him. Meanwhile, the 47 of Robert Clark, that's your overall leader, coming to the line. And he takes the checkered flag with a fist pump. Robert Clark takes the win. 4:59 is a lap down. Justin Westerfield comes across to take second. Margin of victory, 5.6 seconds. George Podgorski just holds off Matthew Syme for third. Matthew Syme across in fourth. James Monahan in the 37 takes 5th place honors. Next up should be John Nash in the Lotus. There's the lapped car. There's Nash as he's working his way forward. Nash takes the honors in 6th and the win in 3C production. Looking for Jamie Monahan next in the number 7A. There's Jamie across the line. Sam Farmiga in the number 56. Green, black, and red Acer Mark II should be next across the line. There he is. Farmiga takes the checkered flag. And I believe we have the lapped car, the number 15. There's Michael Levesque in the Corvette should be next, working his way from the very back of the pack in the 40s up into 9th spot if he can get it to the line. And here he comes. Yenko Stinger takes 9th position. And a good run at the line. Alan Schomer should be next across the stripe in the number 77 Miata. There he is as he takes 10th place honors. So let's do a quick class rundown for you. In Formula First, Robert Clark in the 47, Justin Westerfield in the 4J, and George Podgorski in the 16 are your top three. In 3C production, John Nash, your winner, in the number 7, Adam Ackley in the 52. Finishing second, Alan Good in the 44. Your third place runner in the Triumph. In Formula V, Elliott O. Barron in the Zinc takes the win. Eric Kopic in the 92 Lynx takes second spot. Elliott J. Barron in the 23 after that little miscue back at turn 11 comes home in third spot. And I believe that's the last of the contested classes. Lowell Houston winning B sedan as he was the only one there. Bill Treffert, despite his spin, takes the win in 4 AP. Alan Schomer in the Miata, as we mentioned, already taking his position. Michael Levesque over Jeff Rapp. I think that's everybody. So those are the podium finishers for race group 1, 3, and 4. Next up will be group 2. It'll be a split start. The Formula B cars out in front. Tonis Kasmitz and Jeff Brabham will lead that field to green. And then the balance of the group 2 field. Group 2, the non-wings and slicks Formula cars. Normally these Formula Vees and Formula Firsts would be in group 2, but because we had such a big contingent, we lumped them in with the group 1 and group 3 cars, and that's the deal. Thanks so much for being with us here at the 2024 Indy Speed Tour as we bring you all of the racing from the Sports Car Vintage Racing Association, as well as Formula Regional Americas. And joining us this weekend, the BMW Car Club of America, with a couple of their races, and the crowd favorite, the Ragtime Racers, pre-1920 race cars, some of which have raced here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. So next up, Group 2 coming up. So while we do that, we get set for the next race. Let's take a moment to thank some of the fine sponsors that make it possible for us to bring this broadcast to you.